Whether you're on vacation at the beach or find yourself with a little more time for reading, summer is always a good time to pick up a new book. Jeffrey Brown gets recommendations now from two NewsHour regulars for our arts and culture series, Canvas.
And to talk about summer books and reading, I'm joined by Ann Patchett, author and owner of Parnassus Bookstore in Nashville, Tennessee, and Gilbert Cruz. He's the editor of the New York Times Book Review. Thanks both for joining us. Ann, you want to start with fiction?
Sure thing. I am very excited about Sandwich by Catherine Newman. If you want a book that has you from hello, this is the one. Family goes to the Cape every summer for 2 weeks. They have kids in their 20s. They have elderly parents, and they eat sandwiches. They are very near sandwich, and they are of the sandwich generation.
That's a real summer book, isn't it?
It is the ultimate summer book. And also, if you're feeling a little stressed, get a copy of Sipsworth by Simon Van Boy. This one has been flying off the shelf. This is an elderly woman who's very isolated. She meets a mouse, and the mouse brings all of these wonderful people into her life. It sounds hokey. It's not. It is a really terrific book. And for something a little darker, Bear by Julia Phillips, which has the whole fairy tale vibe. Two young sisters working so hard in a very tough existence on an island off the coast of Washington. It all changes when a bear comes to their neighborhood, and it drives the sisters apart. I also want to give a quick shout out to something that just came out in paperback, Crook Manifesto, Colson Whitehead. Love this book so much. If you want some mystery, some cops and robbers, some corruption, some great writing.
Gilbert Cruz, what do you have for us in fiction?
The first one is Swan Song. Ellen Hildebrand. She is a writer who puts a book out every summer. They're all about Nantucket. They all have drama. They all have romance. And somehow I have found myself reading one book of hers a summer for the past decade. I've only been to Nantucket for 2 hours on like the coldest day that I can recall. So I have no idea what it's like to be there in the summer, but I sort of do because I've read a dozen Ellen Hildebrand books. So I'm a big horror person. There's a book called Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. And there's some people who save their scary stuff until October, until the fall. I'm not that person. I like it all year round, and I think there are many people like me. This is about essentially an independent horror movie that was made years and years ago. A bunch of tragedies happened. It's become a cult film, and the only person left from the production has started to encounter some weird things. So that's Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. And then finally, another genre book, a fantasy, The Bright Sword by Lev Grossman. If you've heard of Lev Grossman, it's because of his Magicians trilogy, which were a set of books that essentially imagined what if Harry Potter, but with older people and cursing and all the stuff that older teenagers get into. This new book imagines the days and the months after the death of King Arthur. So there have been many retellings of the King Arthur legend, books, movies, musicals. This one is sort of a sequel.
You went with all genre books for the summer. Okay, Ann, how about nonfiction?
Hanif Abdurraqib. There's always this year, which is on basketball and ascension. This is a collection of essays about family and love and grief and fathers, but most importantly, it's all woven together through the lens of basketball. Hanif Abdurraqib is one of my favorite writers and just someone I learn from every time I read one of his books. Brilliant. My Black Country by Alice Randall, which is a journey through country music's Black past, present, and future. Alice is a fiction writer and a scholar. This is the story of all the people who have been erased in country music's past, and she is restoring them into the landscapes. Terrific book. And Consent by Jill Cement, a very slim little memoir. Jill Cement was 16 years old when she first kissed her art teacher, who was 46. They got married, and they stayed together until he died at 86. And it is her looking back on her life and thinking, it was a happy marriage, but knowing what I know now, maybe there was something a little wrong about that. And a great book that just came out in paperback that could be read as a companion piece, my favorite, Monsters, A Fan's Dilemma by Claire Didier. You've got a book club, read these two together. Terrific.
Gilbert Cruz, what are your choices for nonfiction?
Well, if I sort of went genre with my fiction choices, I'm also going to go a little pop culture with my nonfiction choices. So the first book I'm going to talk about is The Future Was Now by Chris Nashawati. This is, I love movies, and I think for a lot of people my age who love movies, the summer of 1982, if you care about science fiction, fantasy, stuff like that, was one of the biggest summers of all time. So it had E.T., Poltergeist, Blade Runner, Tron, a Mad Max sequel, a Star Trek sequel, and this is essentially a history of that summer, a history of those movies. So I'm looking forward to reading that one. Another pop culture nonfiction book that's coming out later in June is called Cue the Sun, The Invention of Reality TV. This is by Emily Nussbaum. She's been a TV critic for many wonderful publications. And this is a history of modern reality TV. I don't watch reality TV. I never really have. And that means that I am out of the mainstream. And so, you know, from Cops to Survivor to The Bachelor to The Apprentice to Big Brother to Love is Blind, these are some of the most popular shows of the past several decades. And Emily Nussbaum does an amazing job of sort of sketching that whole history and what they're billing as sort of the first comprehensive history of this very important genre.
And you have a bookstore, you have a lot of young readers, and I know you wanted to give some choices for them.
Yeah, I never want to miss a chance to plug some great kids' books. Jarrett and Jerome Pumphrey, two of their classics have just come out in board books. So these are good for babies, for little kids. You can chew on them. The Old Truck, The Old Boat, beautiful, simple, terrific illustrations, great, clear story. If you have a slightly older kid, absolutely you want to buy a copy of Ahoy by Sophie Blackall. This is a book about imaginative play and how you can have a summer adventure no matter where you are or what you've got to work with. I adore this book and everything Sophie does. And America's favorite author for young people, Kate DiCamillo, has a new novel out called Ferris. It's about raccoons, chandeliers, S&H green stamps, grandmothers, love, and happiness. It's a story about a happy family. Call me crazy, my favorite.
Ann Patchett and Gilbert Cruz, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.